I think there's been a recognition there's a gap in terms of knowledge and skills and learning and opportunities in terms of electronic assistive technology and how the workforce utilises that or is aware of it and has the right knowledge and skills to actually embed that in their day-to-day social care practice. So the purpose of the work really is to help move that forward, to develop the workforce, to have the confidence, the right skills and knowledge to be able to enable people to live, to support independence, choice, well-being, to increase really and add value to the sort of social care packages and support that is offered at the moment.
I think that it's okay that staff do need support and training and additional learning, because a lot of staff maybe come into the social care field and there was no use of technology when they come in, and all of a sudden there's these new types of technology which can be scary because it changes your job. So staff do need support.
And we are developing a set of knowledge and skill set and a strategy which is about how we will do that, and the knowledge and skill set provides more practical tools really.
I like the fact we've got the implementation plan as well, which helps people put it across. So you've got the high level strategy which helps us look at it all as an overview, and then we've got the implementation plan and the real good user friendly skill sets to really introduce the ideas through to the workforce.
Yeah, and I think as well the skill sets they'll be very useful for organisations both at local level as well as regional, and for some organisations national level, to ensure that their staff have the competency and skills to use EAT if it's required for specific tasks or jobs.
Yeah, and it gives a baseline, doesn't it, that we all work to, or a standard across the UK that people can apply. Obviously people can build on that and hopefully it'll underpin things like qualifications development, future national occupational standards development possibly,
We've also looked at people like manufacturers, suppliers of equipment, hoping to get them on board. We've got good contacts with them from the work that we do, and it's really nice to have things in the plan that will, and the strategy that will include them as well. Yeah. And there's so many people that have been involved in like the workshops around the country. So many people involved. There's an awful lot of different viewpoints that work really well, that come to the same conclusions really. So
and I think it is good. We've had good representation from you've all become forward as champions in your regions as well as in many others, because they're interested and they want to see it succeed and want to see something that will drive the development forward, as we're all trying to meet different challenges in all our countries, with less resources.
The thing that we found in our float and support service, which is community based, so it's about our support workers going into people's homes, that we're now introducing things like support staff going out and using tablets, so we can develop up, for example, maybe as a part of a support goal, menu planners, healthy eating, so you're able to pick through and flick through things rather than bringing out reams of paper. So it's a matter of the person, and if the person's lucky enough to have a printer, and it's also giving them the confidence maybe to use, if they have a smartphone, to actually start doing these things for themselves. Also it's about the staff as well learning, and it's a two-way process about the staff learning along with the service user, and sometimes the service user showing the staff maybe what they can do, so which is another good thing as well.
They start off really nervous around the equipment, but now they go on, they're creating artwork, they're using the drumming software, some people with their eyes, some by touch, getting involved in and included in all sorts of stuff. And you can see the staff are visibly more confident and relaxed around it, and they all get so much out of it.
And that makes such a big difference to the individual, because if the staff are confident and feel comfortable in using the equipment, then that makes such a difference to them and how they use it, and even how they think about it, or think about getting other types of technology to support them in their life.
I think it can reduce, social isolation in some ways, as long as it's not the only thing that happens. But also in terms of, life, leisure, work opportunities potentially, it opens up so much, but also relieves pressures on people like carers, assistive technology, whether it's an alarm or just a buzzer on the door sensor, warning them when their loved one gets up in the middle of the night and starts to go wandering. At least they can get to sleep.
I think that's one of the great things about this strategy. It's not just about environmental aids, or it's all about just everyday technology,
Yes.
and how some people that we're supporting are not able to access that everyday technology, like mobile phones, like a laptop, the internet, and it's about supporting them to access that as well.
And for people who live in, you know, in remote places, the telecare, the telehealth, it all provides the framework of how to ensure that your staff are comfortable to use all of this innovative stuff, really.
I think that's going to be a very important thing in the future, particularly for areas like Northern Ireland, which is quite rural. You know, it is about using assistive technology to bring people who are maybe living in rural areas, making them feel much closer to their community and not so much in terms of isolation. You know, and it's about staff as well, while they're learning the skills, helping people to develop up those skills, you know, so that they don't feel socially excluded or marginalised, not necessarily because of their disability, but because maybe of where they actually live.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's recognised within the strategy and the knowledge and skill sets, that one of the key things is that basic awareness across the sector, you know, that everybody needs some kind of awareness of what it is, what it does, you know, a general understanding. People will become more skilled in that, and that's built into building it into how we recruit and induct and all of that in the future. The strategy now has recommendations really, which is aimed at employers in the main, but also has, you know, clear recommendations for how we can take this forward. So the specific recommendations, but also they're relevant for some of them are specifically relevant for suppliers.
Just when we plan our learning and training programme for next year, we will just take the knowledge and skill sets and work out what's relevant to us, who's responsible for which area, who needs trained in what, and then we would just use that and map them across to our training programme and start to introduce those types of training, and also introduce it within inductions and also across other types of training that we've already got running, like vulnerable adults, introducing some of the IT, introducing that into current courses that we have running. From my own personal point of view, I was looking for further qualifications and training in electronic assistive technology. Although I'm managing a team and I have experience in using electronic assistive technology, I don't have a specific qualification in that field. And what I found is there's hardly any training and qualifications out there, and I'm now having to go down to Coventry University to get a qualification, whereas I would rather achieve that in Scotland and locally.
I think it's important, certainly for the likes of organisations that provide social care services in Northern Ireland to get involved in the actual strategy, is that there's more and more development in this particular technology, and it's continuing to develop at a very rapid pace. And I think at the end of the day, the important thing is to remember, if it's going to improve the quality of life for the individuals that we provide services for, that's the very soul of becoming involved in the strategy and taking it on board, and you know, developing up the knowledge and skill sets and working to those. So I think that's very important, certainly for any service provider.
You know, the main reason really is to improve the quality of life, you know, the opportunities, independence for people, and enabling people to stay at home longer, you know, have more choice and control.
I think for me it's to be proactive rather than reactive, because the technology's here, people are picking it up, they're seeing the opportunities, it's exciting, it's innovative, and it's a buzz. And rather than having to get the skills later, let's be proactive and get them now.